honestly, I like that I always get it wrong anyways, so it's more fun when I have a stupid button, but we're here. It's Murder Moose. This is the first. Okay, 112. This is the first official from start to finish. We're a 3-piece band now.
Yep.
Continues here as the actual full-on co-host, Murder Moose Styles, and Roddy Boy, and me, Josh. Hey, this is us.
Josh, WRB,
You.
and Continue, who's been going for like 1,800 hours straight. Ken has been going since 1832 today, is with her creepy baby hoodie that is always wonderful whenever she wears
with
it.
Our resident horror guru, Continue. And if you've heard anything else, yeah, you're wrong.
It was funny. Someone in our Ken's chat, and I was like, "Is there anything that I just like mention some random movie and Ken will have like a code or like a story about it?" And I didn't remember what it was. Because we were talking about vampire movies in your chat, right? And so
Yeah.
it was like that. It was that. It felt like that typical like go to like everyone's like Lost Boys, and I'm like, which is a wonderful movie. Don't get me wrong. I was just like, it's that thing where you can like. Lost Boys is one of those vampire movies that actually has kind of transcended that. You get things like Interview with a Vampire and Queen of the Damned, which you said you've never seen. I've never seen Queen of the Damned either.
I've never seen Queen of the Damned.
I think with the whole like Aaliyah thing, I was like, yeah, maybe I would have realized I was a little more sexually like flexible if I had watched that movie earlier. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm definitely not as flexible as I thought. I'm like pulling my leg. I don't know what's happening. My legs hurt.
Josh, I meant more about the choice of genitals in between.
I'm just saying.
We're not talking about your
No,
hot...
my leg is pulled. I'm not flexible. I'm old man.
I just am imagining as the guy who didn't do his OnlyFans yesterday because I hurt my back yesterday and then took an edible and tried to...
This is where we're at in life. I didn't do any fan house this weekend because I was tired from descaling the water heater. Okay.
Yep.
Real life. That's why. But isn't this okay? So like, I don't do these things. But isn't that like? Wouldn't people want to know this content too? So it's like, oh, so instead, maybe you just post that. It's like, hey, here's the real life week on OnlyFans. It's like,
what I'm probably gonna do is like I put like. The wife took a picture of me like on Saturday morning just because she likes taking pictures now, and something was at attention, and she took a picture. So I just put that on today. I was like, I didn't get to do a shoot this weekend, but here you go. Here's my ding-a-dong-dong. So here we go. I keep hearing the dad bods are a thing on OnlyFans, but I'm not sure where.
Everyone, please go sub to Rod's OnlyFans and see the Rod.
See Rod's Rod. Dude, I still...
Rod.
The Rod.
It's just like inevitable. Like it was as I've been playing God of War Ragnarok, where they talk about, your like destinies and things like that. My parents named me Dick. So I mean, it's like we had to be here. Like this ended up having to be the end game. You can't name someone penis and then not expect them to show their penis on the internet at some point. Like, even though the internet didn't really exist back in 1983, but here we are.
Oh, good thing I just unmuted on my OBS. Like, we do use these other things, but it's kind of funny that I was muted this whole time in OBS. I'm professional. This is episode 112, and I will get it right never. So it's all good.
Maybe by episode 1,000, Josh will have it.
I'm not too worried.
Okay, how the fuck are you two? Ken, Josh, I mean, we know Josh is like getting down and dirty. Ken is like, we're getting old and hurting ourselves and like complaining about being old. But like, Josh is like, maybe I shouldn't be trying to fuck like them porn stars and like putting my ankle behind my head while I'm fucking.
Pieces.
Pieces.
Pieces is the
Yeah.
movie.
Don't try to get to Pieces already, Josh. We're only.
I love how I just.
Pieces.
Well, there's a lot to talk about with Pieces, but I do have to give you shit though, Josh, because you said it last week that it's a Giallo movie. And it's
No, I
actually
said I am looking at a list and there's this movie on it. I never said that it was. I just said there's a list that I'm looking at, and why don't we do Pieces?
That's fine. I like this movie because this movie has gotten a reputation because of the ending, and
Oh!
you can very much tell that this movie came after Friday the 13th, and it's like it feels like it specifically was like inspired by Friday the 13th's ending because
It made no sense.
the most senseless ending of all. I like just it's like they merged. They had like a crossover with Frankenhooker, but Frankenhooker didn't come out for a while, and it's just like I'm like, and the whole movie is just very odd. Anyway, I was telling Cameron before you came on, Josh, I was watching the Kill Count episode about this movie, and I was like, it was a very informative watch just because this movie has a bit of a reputation for many reasons. One, the director who is Spanish almost killed an actress at one point.
Is it the door
pool
scene?
No, the pool scene. The pool scene, they shot parts in Spain, and the water was like 5 degrees or something insane like that. Like in like this, it must have been 5 Celsius, and the girl almost died. And this director's like, "Oh, she almost died." I'm like, "You fucking psychopath!" Fucking psychopath. I did have to think it's kind of funny, Ken, because the yellow chainsaw of Pieces reminds me of Motel Hell, and the first time he came on, so
Yeah.
it was actually kind of an appropriate thing with that, with chainsaws and whatnot. But
That's the one. When I was doing the poster for the Evil Dead, I just wanted to do an Evil Dead Rise one. I was like, oh, I feel like it should be yellow for no reason whatsoever, because we still hadn't seen Motel Hell yet, and I hadn't seen Pieces yet. I just wanted a yellow one, so I changed it from red to yellow, and now everything else that I've seen since that it's like an iconic thing to have yellow ones, I guess. I don't know. I like it.
It sticks out, right? It's that
The Saw is family.
Saw is family. I mean, I still at some point when we can't think of something to do, I want to do Texas Chainsaw 2 because I love Texas Chainsaw 2 with like
I would love to.
I love that movie.
Namland.
What? So we were attempting to dive down Giallo Town, but then I fucked it all up and made us watch this instead. So,
but it's
we have
funny
no direction.
No, I mean it's Murder Moose. The thing is, this movie follows very many things. Like it checks the Giallo boxes,
yes,
just not.
The floppy knife. Like the one pool scene when he doesn't cut away. I was like, that fully just flopped over. I was like, why would they leave that in? And then cut to the,
it's one of the most insane scenes ever because, but we talk about it all. Like we talk about it here, like when we watch older movies, like when you go have these older movies, you're like, they weren't planning on it being put on 70-inch televisions in your like,
but you can see that.
I mean, you could see it, but like the quality and everything. Like I watched it again. I had forgotten about. Yeah, it's like you're like what? You just see it go. It bends like 90 degrees to the fucking like left because the guy is stabbing her.
You're not talking about your penis, Rod.
Yeah,
my penis.
I thought OnlyFans was yesterday.
It only goes like it goes. Was that like like 15 meters? I don't fucking know.
I'm left-handed.
I'm not. My dick just goes left.
Wait. Is that a thing? Like, does it bend based on like your dominant hand?
I think there's a lot of things, including how you get circumcised. Like, and I'm circumcised, so like,
okay.
If it was like that, the dominant, my jerking with my right hand would have like gone it to the right, made it go to the right long ago. And I'm saying these things out loud, and now I'm just imagining the memes that are going to come out of this. So Dread Horde will probably do something about
I
like my
love.
dick.
I look forward to, and it's so quick too. The memes, like I'll post it, I'll go
I
back
love
to
it.
work, and then I'll come and all of a sudden, well, I'll come back to Twitter and see before I even am able to like post it myself. There's like 2 or 3 memes making fun of all of us, and I love it.
I love it.
So this is what happens. I kid you not. I set the audio to go up for 6 a.m. I'll look like at the Murder Moose channel on my Discord, and he's already put like the both of them there. And then as soon as the tweet goes out, he like attaches them. Like when I was
What?
Yeah, when I was like sick, like he like was like, "Are you gonna put that up?" And I'm like, "Yes, like I like because we had recorded it like before that, and then he was like attaching them. So he just waits till the tweets go out to put the memes are done before that, Josh. If you go, they're there.
What?
I'm like, yeah,
I love it.
I love it.
yeah,
It makes me smile every time I see them. So thank you.
they're wonderful.
They make
They
me
are-
smile.
They are wonderful. Dread, who has now changed his name in my Discord like 5 times. It was something octopus for weeks or months now, and now is I can't even tell you what the new name is. I'm like, it's just like keeping us all on our toes here. Yeah. So I don't even know how we got to my dick going to the left, but we're back to this. This.
The knife was floppy. I kept
Oh,
up
right.
this time.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just go down that rabbit hole, and then I get lost down there. I never know where or how, and it's fine.
It's just how we go. It's a fucking adventure. It's not about the destination, Josh.
No,
No.
the journey is the funnest part of everything, and with Rod, it is always a journey.
It is. I go, and you go,
And then we
"Hey,
start doing stuff like this for no reason, and I don't know. Yeah.
man. But
Oh,
that is one of the worst like practical effects I've ever like. I'm like, how did you guys?
Yeah,
leave
but
that? You
some of
just-
the cutaways in this movie where after they die and then the massacre after was pretty fucking gnarly, to be honest. Like, but the like
Yeah.
everything
else was not, which
It was
makes it
as-
funny.
as the kill count guys were talking about, this movie is very trashy. It's like, yeah, like so you fucking listen to these the people who made this movie, like who we were talking about like it having a lot of the giallo like things. The killer looks giallo.
Yeah.
The like
The
lot of
lighting and the knife
lighting.
thing. Yeah.
the music was way so I guess the production of this movie had like for the US had some contract for the music, which is why it sounds like porno music for a good portion of the film. There's so much porno music in this, like this, like there's like a saxophone just going off and the girls like going into the pool. By the way, the girls jumping into the pool made me laugh my ass off because she's like all like getting out of her clothes and like keeping her bikini tight and like doing all this shit, and then she's like, man, just pulls her bikini off. I'm like, so why do you waste all your time making sure your bikini looks perfect and then you just pull it off? And it's just like,
Well,
wow.
the whole movie, though, I mean, like we see it all the time in horror movies, but this particular one, like she's in the pool. Dude is like walking around the pool, just meandering around, and she's just like, oh, I'm swimming, I don't see anything. And then suddenly net around the face, and I'm like, what? But that's what I was gonna bring up, because like in that scene, I noticed it the most. The chainsaw. So we've talked about. There's no blood on the bar. There's no blood on the chain. There's no blood like anywhere other than just on the back part. Super random side note. What the fuck does the girl ask the professor in the beginning? Because I know it had something to do with boobs, but I rewound it like 4 times trying to understand what she was asking about.
She asked about what was the pectoral, I think is what she said.
Oh, okay. Well, now that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that's why he goes, it's right here and right here. And it's like, dude, that motherfucker in his Vincent Price like mustache and his like it's just the most like this motherfucker is so over the top, and I'm like,
And it's such a fun puzzle. Come on, that would make any.
dude, that motherfucker took 60 years to like fucking put that puzzle together, and it was like 100 pieces. And I understand, but I have to say the one thing that kid does at the beginning of the movie when you don't know who the killer is, him axing that bitch his mother in the head. I was like, that she fucked around and she found out. It's like she had to have some inkling that her son was a psychopath, and she goes all like what was Norman Bates' mother's name? I don't know if like it
Oh God.
I don't know what her first name was, but like goes all like berating him and like going off on him and like
breaking
got, like,
pictures on the wall. She was
Yeah.
nuts.
which
Mommy
okay,
dearest.
so they explained it and I kind of guessed it, but I was trying to figure out what in the name of fucking sweet baby Jesus that skateboarding scene had to do with anything, and it was
There was
at
a
the very
bunch of
beginning.
scenes in this that I was like,
No.
what? Why?
The skateboarding scene actually makes sense, but it looked like it was like out of a fucking Looney Tunes like cartoon where there's the two guys just moving the mirror, and this girl's just skateboarding, and she's like, ah! And, like, so what what they said, and I had kind of gone along the same lines that the guy saw the mirror breaking, and it brought him back to his mother and all that.
Oh,
shit,
right,
like,
breaking the mirror. Right.
and just like saying she was gonna burn all his shit, and that was
But
why he started killing people.
It, yeah, I guess, but it wasn't. I don't know. It just looked ridiculous. It wasn't like apparent enough.
Oh fuck!
What?
My audio is not working right. Oh no!
Well, I
Like-
can hear you on here. This is going to be fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, cool. Well, it was either that. Yeah, it is fast forward. It's my audio says it's 51 minutes or 52 minutes. I'm like, what?
Did you hit record a long time ago?
No, it's just going. It's at 53 minutes already now. It's like just super. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. It is just lost. Yeah, I don't know. My audio is completely dead. So whatever. If you're good with your audio, Josh, well, it might not be the best audio, but yeah. I just saw it and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? God damn it.
I don't know. I
don't
never
know
met the
either.
guy.
Okay. So there's some things I do want to say about this movie because I do enjoy it. It is fucking sleazy as shit, but I do enjoy it. I have never seen a movie fucking try so hard to pad out its runtime, and it only ran its runtime on is an hour and 25 minutes, and they fucking stretched for an hour and 25 minutes. They stretched real bad. Like,
Yep.
let's see, how many scenes do they have with the fucking the puzzle? Like, there's at least 5 minutes of movie runtime, I feel like, of this dude putting the puzzle together
With the black gloves and the blood smear and yeah.
That was one.
I
big
forget.
one.
Someone wanted this on my server, so I thought I fucking already had it, but so I'd heard of it. I'd seen the poster before.
Yeah.
And I just assumed it was Giallo, so sorry, my bad. But I wanted to check it out regardless. This would have been one of those, like, is there anything else around this time that was like, because when did Texas Chainsaw come out? Like, was this like
1979?
Yeah, so this is a few years
Was
after.
it 74? Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's. I think it was 74, but like,
Was it 74?
I would love to see how many movies and like how widespread, because like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like iconic. It made waves. It was the first of its kind, and obviously this one had to have been like very much, influenced by it. I want to see how many movies from that era we can check out that
24.
it's a chainsaw movie, because like, especially with Kin being here now, and the first time was Motel Hell. I feel like it's our duty now to like find out and see all the the Chainsaw movies now.
It's funny, man, because like that means at one some point we do Mandy, because Mandy has one of my favorite
Oh,
the
have we
chainsaw
not?
fight. We haven't done Mandy, no.
I haven't seen Mandy.
Oh,
We've talked about Mandy numerous times, but I still haven't seen it.
because that's
It's a
well,
trip.
yeah, it's a trip. I would love to just rewatch it anyways. It was so influential on me, and that poster I did was from my heart. I usually like ADD out. Like I did a poster for this. I hated it. I didn't post it. I like this one better. Mine was I didn't have enough time, so I don't care. But the one I did for Mandy, I took my time and I got lost in it, and I haven't had like a piece or something that I've done like art wise do that to me in a long time. So I was like, oh no, I need to because that I loved it so much. And I like looked at the time and all of a sudden it was like 2-3 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're gonna, especially since you haven't seen it, Ken. It's a
Yeah.
go-to, because the film is. Dude, I have very like as an adult, very few movies like before you met you, Josh. Obviously, I bought that thing on fucking like pay-per-view or something like that, because like it was so like it had gotten so much attention and it was like so whatever. And I'm like, this movie's fucking wild. And that was like really the first movie that Nicolas Cage did that got him like attention after the whole like in the early
Mhm.
aughts, where he was like the big thing. And like it was like really it started in the mid 90s. He started going like with a Face Off and like all that shit, like in that time frame. Con Air. He did all those, and then he was like a leading man for the aughts, into like he got into all his tax troubles and all that shit. But yeah, and that Mandy was like the one where he came back, man. And it was like, and it was he became Nicolas Cage again, right? So
Well, that was one the like I saw an interview with him cuz he was still like, digging his way out of the hole that his like accountant or someone close to him like fucked him over so hard with his money
yeah,
that he trusted. They were like stealing and whatever. So he did like the era, right? But he's like, you know what? Like I brought it for all those movies. Not all of them were great, but it doesn't mean I wasn't going to show up and do the best work I
yeah,
could regardless. But he's like, a few of them, because I had, that opportunity in my life to say yes to more like that, I did get gems like Mandy and Color
out
what
of
is it? Color
space.
Out of Space. And like those are like weirder films, right? That I don't think if he was in a different position, still being backed by Disney and doing another like National Treasure or something, like he
Yeah,
reached out to them. He's like, I need help. And Disney's like, yeah, fuck you, and turned their back and like canceled the next movie, like right when he needed them the most. So we got
I mean,
we got that out of it. So I'm fucking stoked.
didn't Disney just bring back one of the Eisners or some shit like that? Like some like got rid of one of their executives, and like some crazy ass shit happening with them. I'm like something with Disney, and that like happened over the weekend, and I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it sounded weird. Like they were making Doctor Who memes out of it. That's all. But yeah. Um but like I said, this movie, it is very obvious that they were stretching. Another thing that I figured out like while watching the kill count video about this, the fucking the guy, the kung fu professor.
That was so
What the
fucking
hell?
random.
It came out of
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
nowhere.
I'll explain.
Okay.
Okay, please do.
Bruce Lee impersonator named Bruce Lee, but with one E, not two E's, was visiting the set, and the director's like, "Oh, let's do a scene with it," because they were trying to fucking pad it out. And you go, the scene makes literally no sense, because like he randomly attacks this woman, and then like the kid's like, "Hey, it's my kung fu." Just like,
I'm like, this is like racist and makes no sense. And
yep.
okay,
It makes no sense, and because it's just like so many things in this movie. It is completely padding the time. The fucking puzzle, the fucking like everything from like the aerobics class, which by the way, another thing about the creepy ass director, he was mad he wanted the aerobics ladies to be naked. And they're like, no, we're like we wear these like leotards, and they said, fine. And like he like was not happy about it, but he was very wanted
There was
them
a
to
lot
be
more nudity in this than I didn't know anything, right? So
we're 2 weeks in a row with dong on the show also, because there was also dong in this, like some
I
male
love the
nudity.
framing of the flower in the window too, though.
This dude, that the main character, Fox. This dude has got like women throwing themselves at him the entire film, and then you're like, he looked like he wasn't doing badly down there. Like he looked like he was equipped, but like, what the? How is this dude? Like he's sitting in the library, and you get introduced to him, and this woman's like, I want to fuck underwater or something. And this guy's
He
like,
had pretty eyes.
he's the where he's nude later on. You see, he's like the girl he's having sex with is she's like, oh, maybe if you restrain me, I won't be so loud.
It won't make noise. You can gag me.
And of course, I've been busy, so I've been watching these at work too, and I'm like, oh man, these are not safe for work, but I'm watching them at work anyways.
No, this is not a safe for work. This is not what we would call accessible horror.
Well, what are we gonna watch next week? Is it gonna be accessible?
I mean, that's not the plan, Josh. The plan is Opera from 1986, but
oh, it's right down the same alley as these ones.
This is actual giallo, Josh.
Oh,
Josh, we have to bust more because, like, one, you did a silly thing, which is something we do on this podcast all the time. But two, you did a silly thing, and you're like, you got good things going for you, so now we have to bust your balls a little bit more. You know, it's like when you can't just be like running across the finish line with your fully erect penis, like the guy from Dur Samurai, and then not expecting anything else to come out of it, Josh.
He was doing flips too. I was like, that's talent. Like no one does flips with a boner. Like that is dangerous.
You'll put your eye out.
He was like jumping off of trees and shit. I was like, what the hell? Like that is
so you know it's funny because
Kin's like, wait, I'm what show is this? I'm official on what show?
I gotta go. I left my refrigerator running. It was great.
You better go run after it. So I think like the kill count guys were talking about, like the best kill in the movie, and I kind of agree, is the waterbed scene.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
They set it up, and we'd already talked about it with the prop knife, but the fucking setup for that scene earlier on, where the like the one chick's like, nothing's better than smoking weed and fucking on a water.
It's such an 80s thing to say.
Well, and it was so random because I was like, what college is just putting a waterbed in their fitness facility? I mean, I went to University of Tennessee, Knoxville. We didn't have a fucking waterbed, at least that I know of. In Tusculum, sure as fuck did not.
What was it, the 80s?
Care. I did have an aunt and uncle that had a waterbed growing up.
My parents had a waterbed.
I can't imagine sleeping on a waterbed.
I can't either.
Trying to fuck on a waterbed. It's like,
yeah, but you get a good
the movement.
I can see, yeah, like, and then you just like follow the ocean in the motion.
But you're not okay. I'm sorry. Like if you're just in there fucking like a missionary style, like maybe, but like you're trying to like get a hold in doggy style or something like that. You're just like,
I will never think of a Discovery Zone play place ever again because there's that whole waterbed area.
Just rod like this.
I'm sorry. I just ruined your childhoods. You're welcome.
I mean, if we're here. If you're listening to the show and you're not fucked up from something, here you go.
How many people do you think fucked in a DZ playground?
Dude,
Sorry.
people fuck everywhere. Everywhere. You think about it. Like
OnlyFans.
Josh, your camera disappeared. You're not on the screen anymore.
Well, he is for me.
Oh, he's not for me.
What?
Man, everything's been weird with me tonight. There he goes. He's back. What the fuck? We're having technological problems tonight.
It's not me. I didn't do a thing, man. This is all you.
I'm just sitting here going, my hands, you can see my hands. They're not doing anything, Josh. They're not doing anything.
What?
Slapped around like the silly bitch I am.
Well, that's your night.
But the waterbed murder, which there's two things about that. One, the fake knife that we talked about. Two, why did it was weird having him he's got this MO where he's running around chopping people up with a chainsaw because he's making this Frankenstein's monster, right? But why did he switches to the knife randomly on the third kill? I think that was the thing. But the murder itself, I was another thing was they're like, oh, it's classy because he's stabbing her in slow motion. I'm like, no, they're just fucking extending the scene another fucking 30 seconds because
it's so classy.
It's a classy kill.
That's the scummiest kill out of all of them. Also,
I like that he stabs her and then flips her over and stabs her and then stabs the waterbed and then stabs her, and it's just
he misses a lot.
Yeah,
the door. To be honest, because the lead up to a lot of these death scenes was clunky, and it was they didn't know how to get good coverage or whatever. But that scared the shit out of me in that scene where the chainsaw comes through the door, because it actually fucking came through the door and she was right there. So I was like, holy fuck, that is really sketchy. That is such a sketchy shot, because I saw the glue of all the other shots, but that one, they legitimately put a chainsaw through the door. So I was like, that could have not gone well. Make sure you're right here or you're dead for real.
I think they probably just had the chainsaw go through it, because I don't think the chain was running for that, to be completely honest. Okay. Also, I don't think the chain was running for a lot of this film. It's probably not safe. We were talking about it last week with the editor.
To run with a chainsaw? Probably not.
No, yeah, it's probably. But it's funny because I mean, what is the most famous scene in all of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It's Leatherface spinning around in circles with
his dance.
Yeah, his dance, which, if you don't know, was him celebrating the fucking shoot being over, and they because
it was hell.
That one of the most hellish movie shoots of all time, because it was 120 degrees, and they were all just
and it was funded by the mob too.
I did not know that. I know that they couldn't change their clothes, so they just had to rewear the same shit every shot. But I did not know about the mob stuff.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Is any of the things that I was trying to record keep notes about all the things where I'm like, oh, they're just extending things in this film. I mean, the puzzle, the slow motion, the fucking dance scene went on way too long. They just kept doing things, and you're like, this isn't relevant at all.
But you didn't like the puzzle? It didn't.
No, the puzzle was fine. She was a very pretty lady on the puzzle. But
I had playing cards. I'm sure she was on one of them. It was we played poker, and it was oh, I got nudie cards or whatever. But it was from the 80s, so it was awesome. It was amazing. They're so good.
Josh, okay, you're back again. My whole computer is possessed by Satan, I think. But I'm gonna have to reboot watching this recording.
See, I reboot before every episode because I'm the main hub, but I've also had the most issues ever, especially at the beginning. Remember, all the audio bullshit I went through?
Yeah.
Oh
no, I don't care. I was like, well, it's just my computer's being wonky. The audio losing a shit, everything like that. So, It's funny. So there aren't there are like 7 deaths in this movie total from what I got from the thing, including the killer at the end. But they were also assuming that our main hero boy lived after having his penis crushed to death by the Frankenstein's monster. I I
It was like
so that
Evil Dead weird. I don't know. Those are some sharp nails.
it was very giallo, and that's why the ending of like the editor is so wonderful, because like that's why I was giving you shit, Josh. But this movie really is it has very 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 giallo vibes, and that ending is just like it's so out of fucking nowhere where you're like, what is
The editor's so good.
dude? I love the editor. I'm just gonna say excellent penis to people all the time now because it's the funniest shit in the world.
They're gonna be like,
and
I
he's
don't
saying-
understand, and you're gonna be like, you don't have to because you have an excellent penis.
You don't understand, Josh, but guess what? Excellent penis. Excellent penis. To all my guy friends, excellent penis. I'm gonna I it's if you don't tell your guy friends that they have excellent penises, what is the point of being around and being alive?
You got to go swimming first.
I mean, I'm just gonna tell people who have penises I've never seen excellent penis, just like I did with HT.
Just
I
go
was like,
around.
I've never
Oh.
seen HT's penis, and I told him excellent penis.
He doesn't know that.
I mean, yeah, I could tell him. I'm like, Ken took a picture and sent it to me, so I know it's excellent. Ken did not send a picture of HT's piece. We're good, but
In HD.
in HD, in super HD.
HT need an OnlyFans.
Oh man, with everything going on in this world, we just need. It was like it is so. It's funny because like we talk about the guys being naked. Like it's weird, man. Like and the whole time we've been doing this podcast, we've probably seen 5 wieners, maybe 6. It's not that many, including Bradley Cooper's wiener in the Nightmare Alley. But
That was
It's
a
not-
dong double, though.
was it? I assume. I mean, it wouldn't be surprised, right? Like, and he was underwater.
And most people in like if it's an actual Hollywood person, they'll get like a butt double too. Like, oh no, I'm not putting I want that butt to be my butt. That's my butt.
It's man, and I understand the movie magic and stuff, but I would just be like, "There's my ass, take it or leave it." There's
Well,
my
that's what you
ass.
do now.
I mean,
Onlyfans.com/
Rod is here.
the rod.
Is here. The Rod.
Do you have therod.com yet?
No, I don't. I don't, dude. I've never done anything with websites, including starting one or buying any domains.
Well, you better buy it before Kin does.
It's going to lead to continue.com. I mean,
I'm just gonna start collecting websites. Listen, onlynouns.com is valued very high.
I would assume so. It's a good name.
anything with only. You know, you should really like have like a bunch of text on the website with only now. It's like no.
My plan is to embed some SEO for hotels and motels because I can drive crazy traffic. I'm gonna have like Ralph put it in, but I want to put so much SEO embedded in the website. So you're looking up,
Yes.
you know, the worst hotels in America or the worst motels in America. It'll be like, oh, you know,
Just start a
STD
blog section.
motel.
Yeah.
Perfect. Signed, sealed, delivered. We're good. You guys want to write for my blog?
Right from the STDblog.com. What is it like to get an STD in this blog? Or no, is it the blog itself is an STD? Or is it that like you have the STD and so you go to this blog?
You have to have an STD to stay at the hotel.
Okay, there
And
you
then
go.
the
No,
motel,
I thought-
you get the STD.
Yeah. The motel is hell. It gives you the STD.
Yeah.
And then
Motel Hell, Josh. That was a different movie. There was
No,
a
no,
chainsaw.
no. It comes from Motel Hell.
Man. I have another thing about this movie that I find fucking hysterical is that like the cop is just like, oh, just let this college kid do all the work. Like
Yeah.
It's-
Here's your desk.
Yeah. Here's some Wendy's. Can we just talk
Yeah,
about that?
what was the
classic
Wendy's?
Wendy's.
yeah.
Well, like, was that? I mean, obviously, that was before like sponsored shit, right? Because like Seinfeld kind of coined that. Am I wrong on that? I might be wrong on that. But
I'm
like
assuming that,
placement, ad placement, I doubt Wendy's. I doubt Mr. Wendy, I can't remember his name, who founded St. Jude, was like, oh, yes, please put my product for my wholesome restaurant in your movie.
They were just feeding the cast that at the craft table, and they just like, yeah, you can have it in the scene. It's all good.
It's fine, whatever. I have a Frosty, have some fries.
Wendy's was 13 years old at this point. It was founded, it wasn't even probably 13 years old because it was founded in November 15th, 1969. It was a
But this is
Columbus
in
thing.
Spain, so when did it go to Spain, though? Was it new
But
to Spain then?
It wasn't all in Spain. They shot it in Boston too, where the like it was actually
Oh, right.
mostly shot in Boston or something like that. But yeah.
Well,
so-
it could just be like, ooh, fast food. Foreigners were like, yay, Wendy's.
Dave
Well,
Thomas. Sorry.
that's what there you go. Well, I was wondering. I was like, yeah, they. Like,
There you go.
I paid for that because like there was no other like. Wouldn't they have just gotten like plain cups or shit like that? Like I
What-
don't know, man.
what
I
part
like
of this
the
movie
craft
makes
food
sense?
Theory.
Yeah.
I love the craft food theory. Let's just pretend that's what it is. If anybody ever asks, this is your reference. Use this for your doctorate thesis in college.
Yep.
During this particular movie, Wendy's was served on the craft food table, and that's why you find it in the movie.
See,
Wendy's, I love Wendy's.
reputable
I really
source
do.
here. Like, this is our
Yeah.
in-house horror guru.
I'm looking the wrong way. I think. Yeah. No, see, I am. I see. I was looking at it this way. Whee! I have to actually point at Ken on my screen to get. Yeah. The kid that they basically go. We don't. I love it. They're like, we don't have enough manpower to do an investigation on a dude running around
Massive.
chainsawing. They don't even alert the press. They have killed five co-ed women die in this movie. And because it's like then the mother was 6 and then the killer himself was 7. So you have 5 women, including a like one just getting her head cut off like 5
Can I
minutes
just
into the
say that freaking cop has a crack shot, though? Boom!
Right?
I was like, wow.
I was thinking about that today. I'm like, why does every single time when like hero or like a good character, I mean, it happens, if they shoot someone in the head, it's always like just like the center of their fucking head, right? It's never like
Because
oh,
the
you shot him,
makeup
like,
artist put it there.
here.
I must say the impact point of the bullet was so great. You should go back and just pause on that image
pink?
and embrace the pink dot that
Yeah.
looked like somebody took lipstick and drew it on and was like, that's a
Yep.
bullet hole.
They didn't even do the like reverse like boop, pull of like
Nope.
wax and a squib. Yeah, like that's the it was the 80s.
There were a lot of special effects in this film that made me laugh. Like the when he chainsaws the lady's arm off in the elevator. and it's just like- it's like her arm's like yeets off. It's like roar, and it's like
There was a lot of that.
Also, how do you not know this? Notice this motherfucker getting into the elevator with a fucking chainsaw?
Because she saw him and was like, "Oh, it's you, Dean," but we don't know it's Dean.
Yeah.
But
At that
still,
point,
he has a chainsaw.
it was behind
in
his
the
back.
Elevator.
It was behind his back.
Yeah, not very
Josh.
well.
No.
I have
It
another question.
was until he got in.
How does the little perverted boy from Boston or wherever the fuck he's from, because his mother was very English, how does he 40 years later have the strongest English accent you've ever heard?
Because he's a different actor.
Dude, story continuity here, Josh. How
Rob,
does
did you think they waited for this child to grow to make this film?
Did
They
you
were
see
very
all the
dedicated.
inconsistencies in continuity? Come on.
I don't
But-
care that he has a British accent. No, but he's a little American boy. How does he go from little American boy to 50-something-year-old British dude who fucking like? Where does that accent come into play?
Because during the time that this movie was made, this man, like another fun fact that's factual, I'm just kidding. But like with how long the movie stretched, that kid probably did grow into a full-fledged adult by that point.
And their fucking budget would have been insane at that point. But
No. It
No.
eh.
Another favorite thing about this film when
English?
they go in to the pool after he's like stole that lady's torso, and the main character is like hiding behind shit, like for like why is this dude just like hiding behind?
It's because they're
fucking,
trying to make you think that he's the killer because you still don't
Yeah.
know who the killer is. You think it might be the gardener, the big guy, because he's acting all fucking strange the entire time and like, I don't know. We're not allowed to go in there because I just hit.
That motherfucker assaulted like 6 cops. Like he went full. He looked like Lou Ferrigno kind of. And like I guess he was like some actor who doesn't like horror movies and stuff like that, and only did the fucking this film for as a favor as one of the producers. But he fucking assaulted like 6 cops, and like 5 minutes later, he's just walking around doing his fucking he's like Hagrid of this fucked up college, right? Like he's like, I'm just the groundskeeper. I'm like, dude, you just assaulted 6 cops. You're fucking swinging like at cops. You're just throwing uniformed cops around, and you're not in jail at all, at all, at all.
I like the pool scene must be like very, very strong in our minds, but I like the pool scene when the anatomy professor or whatever goes in and is like on the chainsaw, like hand on it, looking, and they're like, don't touch that. You could be disturbing evidence. And he's like, oh, I did not know, and continues to hold on to it. And then eventually
whatever.
is like,
he's like, it was obviously this chainsaw. Like, the chainsaw isn't the fucking point that we're trying to make here, you dumbass. Fingerprints, evidence.
but maybe it wasn't the chainsaw. You don't know.
Maybe
There wasn't any blade on the bar, so
also
Hi!
the pool scene is just like it's perfection for this film. Like him putting the fucking like pool skipper over her head, and her acting like it's the worst thing that's ever happened. She's like, bitch,
I will say,
Why don't you just go like this?
think about it. Yeah, see, that would have been what I would have done. But like, if you were to have that situation, it's kind of like a dog net, right? Because like it's caught around your neck and you're being dragged, and like unless you use your hands, these amazing things that we have to like, loop yourself out
And go under and like swim away and go, no, I don't want to go on that side. Hey, come to this side of the pool.
Or you get out of the pool and he like beats you or whatever, but you're still
That's what I
very
like about
conscious. So you just lay there ass naked and stare at him and be like, oh no.
The pool scene in It Follows, like that's more like what would happen in a pool if some crazy shit was happening. You'd get like decked in the head. Oh, and then you try and get away, and like like It Follows is a wicked pool. Well, just a wicked movie, but wicked pool scene.
I mean, that scene is bonkers for many reasons, but like the dude shooting his own friend like an idiot.
Ow!
That scene is ridiculous.
Have you seen It Follows?
No.
I think we talked about that like a couple weeks ago. She hadn't seen it. Yeah,
Check it.
Is something.
It's
worth watching. Yeah, it's a wild movie. It's because
it's one of my favorites.
Like, I mean, you like Smile, right, Ken? So like, it's like you should like it because it's got a very similar premise. It's like
it stole the premise from It Follows and The Ring, and then made Smile. So It Follows, It Follows, and Mandy were two of the like movies that came out in like that underground, like more indie level horror that were so well done and so influential on me as just a lover of film, but a filmmaker of whatever. Those two movies, I was like, I haven't felt the need to like make something that resembles anything in a long time. And those two movies were like, I need to steal as much from these movies as possible. They're too good.
So another thing about this movie that I just am curious about, after you realize that the kill, I mean, you realize pretty early on, just from the time frame of when the murder of the kid's mom goes, and then you go 40. That the killer is not a young. I like. That's the funny thing. Like, if you've watched this and you go, "Oh, it's going to be the kid," like, well, why do they have the 40-year? Like, you kind of if
The
you're
way
like,
that was edited too, though, like it was like mid song, mid sentence. 40 years later, I was like, oh, what the fuck? That was the only part of the movie that didn't drag out. I was like, huh?
and then you have a pothead chick all of a sudden going down the street on a skateboard to like with some goofy. I'm like,
Whoa!
it is the most like jarring thing, and you're like, what? It's like a tonal thing, right? Like the tone just goes like, we're a happy 80s stoner comedy. Like going through a fucking mirror is so Looney Tunes. It's bonkers. It's just it's so, I we talk about it like the fucking the kid becoming basically the cop, and like you learn that he wants to be a cop like throughout the end of the movie. If I would like to know his opinion on his like his after his dick being crushed though. But you don't know you don't figure anything out after his dick gets crushed. There's a lot of like now I'm thinking about Terrifier 2 again, Josh, with the penis being ripped off and then like drawn on the windows by Art the Clown. But
Oh, it's funny. It's funny seeing the internet just like, you get asked the question, oh, what's your favorite horror movie? This is actually a really good question. What's your favorite horror movie from this year? It's a fucking hard question. There's so many good ones. So many people are saying Terrifier 2, which is like it's such a crazy, like it's amazing. I don't know if I could put it up there, but then at the same time I'm like, what would I put up there? Because there's so many that came out that were fucking amazing, and I don't know.
It's kind of interesting that the general public would be like Terrifier 2, considering what exactly it entails and how heavy it is. And how so many people are so anti like that kind of gore porn, even though it's not necessarily gore porn, but like that whole subset. So it's interesting that people would be like, "Oh, Terrifier 2, of course." And you're like, "Doesn't My Little Pony scare you? What is going on here?"
Can you
I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not gatekeeping. Holy shit! I just realized that sounded like I was gatekeeping. I'm not gatekeeping.
No, what you're saying though is that like it's that movie's gotten all this press for being as hardcore as it is, and that's what you're saying. You're like it's funny watching, but then we talked about it in the show. That movie isn't as hard. Like there's nothing in that movie that's as hardcore as the hacksaw down the vagina. Like nothing in that movie is that hardcore.
It's going to be hard for, I honestly think, like any movie to do something as fucking crazy as that scene. Like it's one of those things that you just kind of don't do. And we went there and it's crazy.
I think Bone Tomahawk had something similar with like Native Americans, like splitting someone in half with like a tomahawk. And that was pretty hardcore. That movie.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard, it's always on the list next to it.
Yeah, it's there.
But was it head down or was it the other way?
I think it was the other way also.
Oh, okay. Well, then
that movie's crazy in a lot of ways. And the cast of that movie's Kurt Russell and fucking the dude from Insidious movies. What's his name?
Oh, really? Kurt Russell's in it?
Yeah, Kurt Russell's one of the main characters. The movie's cast is bonkers. And I think like there's other crazy people in that movie, but like, yeah, that movie's. I went into that not knowing what the fuck was happening, and then I'm just like, it's one of those movies that like is hits horror elements, but isn't exclusively horror, right? Like it just horrendous things happen, but yeah, but and all that point with all of it, it's like it's weird, like seeing people like latch on because I feel like the last crazy movie they got that kind of attention in the horror movie from outside, it's like Human Centipede. Like Human Centipede kind of got that like kind of attention, and I'm just like
because of the shock factor of it, yeah.
And I always say the South Park Human Centipede or Human Centipede was actually more fucked up than the Human Centipede. Like they just fucked you with the what they were eating and shit like that, and just making, would you like vanilla paste or cuttlefish and asparagus? And it's just like um
Again, just so we're clear, I was not gatekeeping. I just
No.
think it's humorous.
yeah, the way you were talking about, I think I got it, and I think you just want to clarify. It is like, it's always
What did I
weird because
miss?
no, you didn't miss anything. You heard everything. But yeah, it's gate. We're not gatekeepers. We don't know anything. It's just
Yeah.
it's such an interesting movie to see hit like the horror community, but also outside of the horror community, because it's
Terrifier 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything that is crowdfunded, regardless of who's in it, the budget, anything that is like crowdfunded and is this successful after, holy shit! Like, you have to like just applaud it and hope that more films are just like, the fact that, you know, James Wan and Blumhouse are joining forces, because James Wan's like production house had like a 12-year contract or something with Warner Brothers, which is now up. So now they're joining forces and bringing their stuff over to, I think, Universal starting next year. And they're still going to be separate, but they want to be a powerhouse to help each other like get more eyes on horror and be like, just to produce more and more and more. Like, each of them want to produce more every single year and have it be like what happened to us this year. And like, as a horror fucking connoisseur and lover, and like, there's more shit on the internet happening, like Murder Moose, and I love seeing it. It's getting a little more crowded, but I'd love it because now the community's growing, and we're getting fucking 2022 has been so amazing for horror. That's why I bring it back to the question. I would have to literally put it down on paper and actually see like, what is my favorite horror movie this year. I'm not just gonna say it. I have to do like my homework.
My first instinct when you ask that question is probably Barbarian.
It's high. It's high on the list. But like,
those
I don't know. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, I think that with just what that movie did to me, and what like, just
it's worth the hype. It is so worth the hype. But so is Terrifier 2. It is way more well done than the first. You know, the final girl is awesome. She's fucking killed it. She's gonna have a really good career in horror or otherwise because of that movie, and that's fucking cool to see too. Because like, you didn't know who she was before.
It's just so hard to fight off, because you're sitting there, you think of all the things like Pearl and X both came out like this year, right? And like, you sitting there that, and we had a new Scream movie, and we had, dude,
that one's so in the background now. Like, Scream came. I know, but like, I forget now because there's been so many more like amazing films that came out after. I was like, oh yeah, Scream was this year too. Like, dude, I loved it, and now I don't even think about it.
We had a new Texas Chainsaw come out this year that most people hated. I thought was fucking fun as hell. I mean, we had fun talking about it with Jerry, and like, it's like
good times.
We had Halloween Ends, which was like, again, not for everyone, but like another cool movie.
That's like in comparison to like the heavy hitters that we got this year, Halloween is such a throwaway.
I know, but I'm just saying that's just like the amount,
which is crazy. Like, you're getting franchise films next to indies, and the indies are going, get the fuck out of here. Like, I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. What do you guys think was okay, this movie got a reputation, and I think the ending had a lot to do with the reputation. And I think that am I the only one watching this movie? It's like they were trying to do the Jason comes out of the lake kind of thing.
It felt like a cross between that and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, but yeah, I mean, but Nightmare on Elm Street was it before or after this?
It was 84. It was 84.
Okay.
So you're like a couple years after that happens. But that is still one of my least favorite endings for a film ever. and it's nothing to do with the Wes Craven. They forced him to do it. That the mom going through the window is
I
one
love
of
it.
the worst looking scenes.
Have you seen all the other
love
endings though
it.
too? Like there's so many alternate endings where
I don't know if I've gone through all of
I
them.
don't think I've gone through them all.
yeah,
There's-
they're that's like one of the worst ones. I was like, why don't they just use one of those other ones? They just work so much better. Like the car, like
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
yeah, like
that's part of the original ending too. I mean, you see
Yeah.
the
Oh, right.
Freddy like the top and everything like that. But yeah, it's because they were trying to set, which is fucking. It's still bonkers that they do that, and then they like. I like Nightmare 2. I like Nightmare 2 a lot because it is the gayest horror movie of all time, and I fucking love that movie. But like, they went so far off from everything in number 1, right? And it's just like, yeah, with
I
his
love Freddy.
extended arms,
oh, it's such a good toy.
it is. I mean, that's one of the best scenes in the original Nightmare is him with those arms because it's
I
like
love it, but also like Johnny Depp's death in the bed and the blood
Yes.
upside down. I think that's probably one of my favorite in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't see that and done that well too. Like anytime you're gonna do a full set like Inception style that like turns and does the thing, like when she's on the ceiling, there's so many fucking rad things that they
Yeah.
did and accomplished in that movie that no one and even like the easy thing, like the wall, like the latex wall and stuff. They did it like CG in the remake, and it looked like shit in comparison. I was like, "What are you doing?"
so bad. The family. I really hope that whenever that because the latest we've heard they haven't sold the rights yet. They've been shopping them, like, and a lot of people have come to them, including what do you call them? Hush and Mike Flanagan wants to do. Let Flanagan do a Nightmare on Elm Street, please.
Let Flanagan do everything.
Just letting him do that would be like, yes. They just need to do. I mean, they just need to give it to someone who loves the character and everything like that. And I just, man, I hope they do. Blumhouse wants it. But Blumhouse is the thing that he was trying to promise. He was trying to promise to get Michael or what do you call him
Robert?
back? Robert Englund back. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert
Like-
Englund is.
He's old, man, and I don't
I
He
know.
was in something recently.
Stranger
spent it all-
Things.
Yeah, he
Yes,
was
that's
he
what
was
it
the main thing. The Freddy. He was the Freddy Krueger ripoff that Stranger Things was doing. By the way, now you remind me. I kind of thought of it earlier. My wife and I have been going through all the NCIS seasons, and I think we were on season 10 the other day, and 11 shows up as like right before Stranger Things, and she's like a fucking psychopathic kid. Like she shoots her mom to death because like she doesn't like her, and like her mom is like she's like a sociopath, and so they're like she just shoots her mom, and it's like, oh, little 11 is is very very murdery. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Be completely honest about that. Kids in those movies, like that type of situation, whenever there's a kid that's doing something like that, like especially in the beginning of Pieces, it fucks with me
Yeah.
really hard. Like
So
it's probably one of my bigger fears outside of Windows, but
it's that thing where you don't expect it, right? And that's why that opening scene is like that opening scene is weird because you end up cheering on the fucking little boy axing his mother to death because you're like, she's like losing her goddamn mind, and she's like, you little pervert, blah blah blah. And he just had a fucking puzzle with boobs on it. So what? It was a naked lady. So what? But this is like what 1942, so you're just like, I mean, there's still parts of this country that today that would be a huge problem. But yeah.
Oh,
What,
freaking
Josh?
America! I can't even.
We're a bunch of prudes here, even though we're not a bunch of prudes, but there's a lot of people that think we are.
America.
Little kids are horrifying, and that's why that opening scene. Like, did you guys expect that was where that was going to go, or were you kind of like,
Yeah.
nope.
nope? Okay, I was just curious because I've seen this once before. It was like this. It was funny.
I just assumed. I was like, you're taking away the kid's stash, he's not gonna like it.
And he's fucking smart, man. He fucking uses it and like he makes it so he looks like a victim, even though he fucking just chops his. So was he trying to make the fucking woman, the Franken hooker, look like his mom? Was
Yes.
that like because he had when he sees the mirror thing happen.
The main part that made me realize that, well, other than when she flipped around, was the shoes thing. Yeah. He's like, well, that was the only time they alluded to the fact that he was doing anything like that. And it was the shoes thing, because he's like, oh, I found the perfect, I don't know, set of legs or fucking something in that last.
Or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was gonna cut the undercover cop lady's feet off and like sew 'em on when they. That was, man. It's a pretty fucked up scene, but like I don't know if they built tension as well as they were trying to. They were trying to, like, you know, he's gonna get her, and he's like, we don't want to make a mess. He's like putting plastic bags under her feet and everything.
They'll never find her.
They'll never find her. I think that the most insane thing about that whole scene, which is an insane scene at all, they obviously set that fucking bookcase thing to move, because before the guy even touched it, it rotated. It looked like he was like putting his hand by it, and it started rotating already, and then the body fell out on top of the dude, which I'm like, that head was decayed real fast. Like it was like green, like it had been there for, and I don't know, I'm not a fucking, you know,
how did nobody smell this?
I probably because it was in that. It looked like a freezer or something at times in that fucking movie. Like that was another thing that was odd about this
Wendy's.
film. It's like the continuity looked odd, right? Like
they just smelled Wendy's.
Man, we all want Wendy's, Josh. Wendy's is a wonderful company who he does their whoever runs their social media. Like I don't know what.
Yes.
Also, they're like the one company that like gets the Rick and Morty advertising. Like they turn everything into Rick and Morty advertising, which is even funnier in that whole thing, right? Have you ever seen the Rick and Morty their breakfast ads? They've had the ones about the French toast sticks, which, by the way, Wendy's breakfast is fucking bomb. If you've never had it, it's very good. It's very good. Do you have Wendy's in Canada, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get the strawberry frosties from Wendy's?
Not yet. I have not.
I don't do anything like that. I'm lactose intolerant. I don't drink or eat milk stuff.
I am lactose intolerant too. I had a frosty chino the other day though, and those are pretty. It's like they're frosty and coffee, so that's a combination. It's a combination. But yeah, so like it was weird with the whole like. So that let's say like Josh, I was giving you shit, but this movie does really kind of fit the giallo theme in a lot of ways. Like if you would have had more,
I can take the shit, man. I can take the shit.
I know you can, but I'm saying I really wasn't giving. I was just kind of harassing you.
Why do you have to do this, Rod? I can't take the shit.
Because I love you.
Hello, I just see. It's so easy. It's so easy. Rod, love you, buddy.
I love you too. This movie though, like your killer is giallo as shit. Although his gloves look very like rubbery instead of leathery. Did you guys notice that it looked like rubber gloves? Not.
But whatever. He's keeping it clean, and he's not leaving fingerprints like everybody else is. So it's all good.
Another funny thing about this, the motherfucker murdered that chick on the waterbed and then was like completely dry, like 5 seconds.
Continuity, man.
It was continuity is a hell of a drug. This movie is fun, but like you probably go, this movie would never get made today the way it did. Like it feels trashy a lot of ways. And which is like, okay, if you're like, okay, this movie was made 40 years ago. I mean, we're literally in our like, got released in like November, whatever.
82.
Of 82. So we're at 40 years. So like this movie is very old, and it was very like, I mean, at this point we'd had 2 Friday movies come out. We've had like, it was in 82 when the third Halloween came or second Halloween came out. Like there's a lot. This is like the prime time of when like slashers were coming out. And this is before, I think before they started, like the censoring began, because this movie isn't
I
like
think we lost Kin. She's
No, I'm
gone.
here. I'm here.
No. Like ADD just out.
Oh yeah, I ADHD. I was
No, that's
gone
what I
for
mean.
a second. You are correct.
We're this episode is now padded. We're
Yes.
good.
Yes.
the problem is too, like it's been like we've had all the things like my computer's being stupid. Like we're all like I don't know, man. I haven't seen Josh's full like his audio, his video has been like blurry as shit. It's been a fucking weird ass episode, that's for sure though.
Just get
Sorry
your
for
dong
zoning
out of your
out.
head.
No kidding. You've had a long fucking day, friend. You were
That's
good.
me. I was
Yeah.
doing it's there was an episode I said Rod was like on a different planet that day. Like not saying like but there was just like he was so stoked to talk or something, and it was just like and he was talking really fast, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I like just ADD'd out, and then I like came back to, and you had filled like 35 minutes, and I don't remember actually saying anything. I was just like, what just happened? Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Dude, I have had episodes of this podcast where I've been editing and I don't listen all the way through. Like I'm just like, and I like I just skip across to make sure everything sounds good. And
Yeah.
I'm talking and I'm talking. And I'm like,
All
is
right.
Josh in this episode?
No, you went on your tangent. I just let it go. But then I was like, I don't have anything to add, but I also don't want to just like end it. So that's it right here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the end of the show. I did it. That's my segue.
Okay, we're all beat. The show's been like, Kim's had a long fucking day.
I'm sorry. I have like hi.
Kim.
I'm not gatekeeping.
No,
You're all beautiful.
No,
I'm so happy to be here.
Man, this is the worries of like 3 ADHD motherfuckers.
Oh God.
Yes, this movie is worth checking out though. It's like I said, it's got a lot. It's violent, but it's like weird. It's got that giallo kind of feel, but like it's an interesting film, man. They do a lot of the fucking voiceover too, like what do you call it over it? So
The dubbing.
dubbed over all the actors dubbed over their own stuff. So go watch it. It's on Shudder. It's on other places, but it's worth watching, and it's short, like 85 minutes. So
It's shorter
Next
than this
week-
episode.
yeah, exactly. Next week, I don't even know what time we're at because of the everything out my audio.
Stop talking.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm trying to wrap up, Jack. Next
I'm
week
kidding.
we're gonna do Opera,
Okay.
the Dario Argento film from 1987.
So
So it's
Phantom
labeled-
of the
No,
Oh.
God damn it, Josh. Opera.
Repo
Opera.
the Genetic Opera. Okay, I got
Okay.
it.
I love that.
I love
movie.
that movie. I have a signed poster back there somewhere.
It's wonderful. That's one of my. I have two horror musicals I love, and it's that and Sweeney Todd. My wife and I, when we first started dating, we were like, "I'm gonna cut you," because it's just like Johnny Depp cutting. That's like my last Johnny Depp movie I like, by the way. But yeah, so we're doing Opera next week. So we're going back to giallo and actual giallo movies. I'm like, Josh, I love you. I love you. Okay, Ken, you can. Ken, you lovely individual. You don't have to apologize. I knew what you were doing. You were like, you don't want to offend anyone, and you don't want to think because we don't gatekeeping. And so don't worry about that. You're awesome, and I got what you were saying. So you're wonderful. You want to tell everyone where they can find you? You could go to bed.
Twitch.tv/continue. I'm live almost every day. I'm just usually off one. Twitter, continue. Fan House, Instagram is official continue. YouTube, just basically anywhere. Hive, all that jazz. Continue.
She's wonderful. Follow her everywhere, and she's wonderful people. Josh is joshwrb.com everywhere, and we're murdermoose.com. I'm Rod_Johnston on Twitch and Twitter. There's no Hive doesn't have a underscore, so I'm just Rod
What?
Johnston.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no space. I like
No,
how
I'm-
mine's just like shh. It's like
Yeah.
streamlined.
I used to have names, and I changed it to be all on the same page, and here we are. And now I'm just my name. Fuck it. Lockout with my cock out. I said lockout. I don't know. It's just me. Okay, Josh, I love you. Rapping opera next week. Catch you guys next week. Love you all. Bye.